Good afternoon. This is Media Center Ukraine, Odesa, and we are starting today with the provision of help and protection of victims of human trafficking. Our speaker is Yulia Zhukova, Deputy Director of the Odesa Regional Department of Social and Family Policy. Good afternoon, Ms. Zhukova. And I would like to give you the floor first to share statistics and also the types of aid to victims of human trafficking. Good afternoon, dear friends. Good afternoon, dear viewers. I'm representing the Department of Social and Family Policy, and on behalf of the department, I would like to thank you for inviting us today. And today, it's the 18th of October, the European Human Trafficking Day, and we understand that human trafficking is an important issue for Ukraine. There are new exploitation forms and new challenges. And that covers almost all social groups of population. The current situation in Ukraine, the military aggression of the Russian Federation adds challenges for all social groups. And human trafficking has become even a more important topic, and we have the economic instability in Ukraine, the increased mobility of population for labor migration, the increased unemployment. All these factors make human trafficking to be on the third place when it comes about revenue after drug trafficking. So this is a very important issue. It is very important to deal with it for the proper development of our country and population, for people not to find themselves in such difficult situations. And nowadays we understand that there should be zero tolerance towards such phenomena, for people not to silence such cases, for people to be able to receive aid they need, the quality aid, the quality help, for all of us to understand that there is a range of institutions that are ready to provide services when it comes to social issues. We are always ready to help people, to provide quality services to people. And I would like to emphasize that human trafficking has different forms. This is forced labor, slavery, sexual exploitation, forced pregnancy, the trafficking in organs, experiments over people, forced begging, forced illegal activities, the use of people in armed conflicts, and these are the sales of children, etc. These are all different types of trafficking of people, and we understand that they are the categories of people which are more vulnerable. These are unmarried women, single mothers, youth, orphans, poor families, internally displaced persons, foreign citizens, labor migrants, and survivors of violation, and the people with mental disorders. And there is, of course, the law of Ukraine on counteracting human trafficking, Decree 417, that says that when a person gets a status of human trafficking, a victim can receive support amounting to 3 minimal salaries. This is also a decree on the interaction of those involved in counteracting human trafficking. We understand that such a phenomenon as human trafficking has a status of criminal crime. Article 149 of Criminal Code has an article on human trafficking defining it as a crime, envisaging criminal proceedings. There is also the order of the Odesa State Regional Administration establishing a regional coordination council on demographic issues, counteracting domestic violence, like gender-based violence, and also human trafficking. This coordination council has 4 intersector working group covering 4 areas. This is counteracting and preventing gender-based violence and domestic violence, human trafficking, demographic development, and the relevant indicators, and also other gender issues. We have already had 2 meetings of Coordination Council, and we consider such issues as how to prevent illegal employment. According to the information of the Southeast Regional Directorate of the State Service on Labor Issues in the Odesa region, during the martial law, more than 800 information campaigns have been conducting to prevent use of undeclared labor. According to the results of these activities, as of the 1st of February, the 1st of July, more than 7,000 people have been officially employed. The labor inspectors have conducted 194 webinars, meetings, provided leaflets about the declared labor and the envisaged rights, amounting to more than 6,000 units. In the Odesa region to counteract labor exploitations, more than 6,000 information interventions have been conducted, covering almost 36,000 persons. And since 2018, 55% have received status as the victims of human trafficking. This year, it's 5 persons during the first quarter. We provide the package of documents to the National Service. And so 2 more persons are waiting to gain this status through this procedure. The state regional administration provides aid to people when needed, when it comes to gathering all the documents to get the status. We also provide single monetary support amounting to 3 minimal salaries. And I would like to emphasize that we have partners in humanitarian component, in social service provision, in the form of asylums and shelters where people can be accommodated in the city and in the region. We have been cooperating with such NGOs as Vira, Nadia, Lyubov, and the charitable foundation Caritas Odesa on counteracting and preventing human trafficking. The Ukrainian Foundation Благополуччя Детей, this is the well-being of children. We cooperate with the IMM and with the financial support of the Ministry of International Affairs of Canada. We also cooperate with the Ministry of Science and Education. This means that we have training sessions and train the trainer sessions, and also to increase awareness of people and our children. We understand that we need to provide as many information as possible, even to small children. That's why we cooperate with the Ministry of Education. And at schools, there are special classes telling children how they should behave. Because no, there are no protected social groups. Everyone is endangered. That's why from the childhood, people should be aware of such phenomena, of the existence of these crimes, and we need to fight it at all levels. In the city garden, there was the action Born to be Free, Народжені вільними, involving NGOs, Віра, Надія, Любов, Hope, Faith and Love, and the charitable foundation Caritas. 10th of April, the center is supporting survivors, Вільна, Free, Equilibrium, and other organizations. We have had kind of a meeting in the city garden where we disseminated materials and information to raise awareness of our people with this regard. On the 12th of October, we had a meeting dedicated to the development of a complex program counteracting and preventing domestic violence and gender-based violence, the gender equality and preventing human trafficking for 2024-2026. So we have been implementing new program, and of course there is some funds envisaged for that from the state budget and also from the regional budget, and with the support of our municipal budget for this program to be implemented, and also to ensure the whole labor mechanism, envisaging the protection to victims of human trafficking. Thank you. How much money has been envisaged from the regional budget to counteract human trafficking? As of today, we understand that there is a range of issues covered by the program. But when it comes to human trafficking, we're talking about the proper professional level of our social workers. And also, we are talking here about training psychologists. So we will arrange this with local communities at the local level and with the involvement of our partners. But when it comes to the development of spaces providing aid to our citizens, because this is the whole chain of issues that shall be dealt with, like human trafficking, preventing domestic violence, etc. And so we should deal not only with the victims, but with the criminals. So we and also the persons involved to prevent any types of violence. So the states also develops such centers for culprits. We can see that we have started cooperation with the 7 district administrations, and they have premises. And to organize work there in that premises, we have envisaged 350,000 hryvnias. But we understand that we are living in difficult times. And we will also refer to our partners to develop the relevant centers to provide support when it comes to awareness raising and also when it comes to the provision of quality services. And we're going to emphasize that You've mentioned that over the last 5 years, 45 persons received the status of victims of human trafficking in the Odesa region, and we have 5 persons starting from from the beginning of this year, and 2 more people who are waiting to get this status. And we will have 7 in total, because it has been already proved that they are victims, but they are still waiting for official status, according to decree regulation 417. These 7 persons, what types of human trafficking they are victims to? It is related to forced labor abroad, and we have been providing medical and social support when it comes to adaptation in the society. There is the whole range of issues that we have been covering. But they were the victims of human trafficking abroad, that is labor trafficking. Could you provide more details about how they were used? Unfortunately, these are our Odessa residents, and with regard to the military aggression, we understand that people have lost their jobs. They were looking for new jobs, and at some point they encountered people and the criminals. And actually, these are the people from the same settlement, and they promised a good job abroad. And they offered support in gaining all official documents needed to work abroad, but that never happened, because as soon as they crossed the border, the documents were taken from the victims. The victims were placed in some premises, and they were forced to work there, and to the point when one person felt so bad that they were referred to a hospital abroad, and unfortunately oncology was found in that person. And the doctors, the healthcare workers of a hospital, they just understood that something was wrong, because the person did not have IDs or any other documents, and with the help of that healthcare workers, that person was returned to Ukraine, and criminal proceedings have been already initiated in this country, and our local law enforcement bodies are involved in investigation. People were returned to Ukraine. They have been sent to shelters, and they are undergoing rehabilitation at the moment. What types of labor they had to perform there? They allegedly had to care about ill parents of the people who initiated that crime. But the victims were forced to take care about that people. They were told that they should wait a bit more till they would be released. But people were deprived of their documents. They were forced to work, and this is a crime, because people were forced to do that. Were they paid? No. And as far as I understand, the criminals took the monetary support envisaged by the state, where that people had been brought to. I cannot share more details. There are 7 women in total. They were 43 years on average, so it was from 23 to 57, but on average the media is 43. Mediana is 43, and they are from the safe community. No, that were different events, activities in different communities. And what is going to happen with the criminals? And the police have initiated criminal proceedings, and they've been dealing with these people. And this is the area of responsibility of our law enforcement bodies, including the prosecutor's office, the police, and in some cases, the National Security Service. Could you share details about algorithm of provision the human trafficking victim status? What is the procedure? A person should refer to us through community, through administration, and there are communal administrations that have a responsible person dealing with human trafficking, domestic violence, gender-based violence, so covering all these gender issues. When it is clear that a person finds themselves in the relevant conditions, we interview that person, we fill in the questionnaire, and on the basis of this information, a social worker supported by a psychologist take measures to cooperate with other structures, migration service, the police, and we send inquiries to get more information, to provide as much aid as possible. And we establish the needs of a victim, like social services, medical help. So we start working with the person to define their needs. And we also cooperate with the relevant bodies to provide information. As soon as information is there, and this is envisaged by Regulation 417, we need to fill in a questionnaire signed by the head of the state administration. If this happens in a community, the community can collect all documents needed using their own resources. This is also envisaged by the mentioned regulation. These documents are submitted to the regional state administration. They are signed by the head of the administration, and then these documents are submitted to the national service that defines the status of a human trafficking victim. Then we issue the relevant document. A person refers to the social protection management body to get this monetary support. Perhaps you have such data, and what place is occupied by the Odesa when it comes to the number of victims of human trafficking? We are not leaders in this anti-ranking. And thanks God, the situation is more or less stable because of the campaigns and among children, adults. And for people to be aware of the necessity to inform about these cases, thus forming zero tolerance. And today there are a lot of materials for people not to be endangered. The situation in other regions, unfortunately, is more severe because of the displacement, migration. People understand that they need to live on, but there are criminals who use this situation. 45 persons for 5 years. So these are mainly women, as far as I understand. Yes. But we can compare to 2018. There were 15 citizens. In 2019, 13 persons. In 2011, persons. In 21, 1 person. And unfortunately, this year we'll have already 5 persons, and 2 persons are waiting for the status, so 7 in total. This is the statistics that we unfortunately have. The biggest number we had in 2018. I guess maybe because the regulation was adopted. And today we work a lot on raising awareness of people, and just not for the situation to get at least worse. And over this period, victims were paid more than 200,000 hryvnia. Thank you for joining us today. And I would like to remind that we have had with us Yulia Zhukova, the deputy head of the Department of Social Services of the Odesa Regional Department of Social and Family Policy. And we will continue at 1 p.m. Thank you.